Peace and power. It's Shara the Goddess, and I'm back with another video. Alright, so I'm here to talk to y'all about familiar spirits. That's right, familiar spirits. And how these familiar spirits always find their way back in your life. They always just pop up. They always just, you thought you were done with certain things, but somehow these same familiar spirits always seem to show up in your life. Now, you got to remember that spirits are very real. Demons are very real, even though technically that is not their actual name, but that is what we call them in this realm, because we are using the English language. So we call them demons, we call them spirits, we call them many different things. But I'm here to tell you that the reason that these familiar spirits are always showing up in your life, always fighting you in that familiar place, is because this is how they continue to feast off of you. You got to know that anytime you are setting your life on a path of where you are obtaining greatness for yourself, where you set something, some type of goal or something that you are looking to accomplish, you got to know that these familiar spirits are always lurking around. Because like I always say in these videos, you are like the main feast. You are, their life support. So the reason that they fight you in your familiar place is because they know that that's your so-called weakness. You gotta see, being a chosen one, you gotta understand where you're at spiritually, where you're at mentally, where you're at emotionally, things that make you feel a little tender. You got a soft spot for certain things when it comes to, it may be helping other people out, being an empath. You got to know that these lurking spirits, they know your weaknesses. They know who you care about, what you care about, what irks you. They know these things. So their job is to fight you in that familiar place. That place that is always going to take you down. That place is going to, distract you from not accomplishing things that you set out to accomplish. That's their job, chosen one. And what they do is they make sure that you never get too ahead of yourself. You never get going long enough, to actually accomplish something. So they're going to make sure that, they send people your way. They do things. They hijack people's NPCs' bodies. They always looking for a host. And you got to know that this is how this beastly parasite has been operating and showing back up in your life over and over again, keeping you on a redundant cycle, a loop, because the so-called devil always fights you in a familiar place. See, and you got to think about it. It's kind of obvious that these entities would do that, because every time that a situation is brought about, or anytime that they present you with circumstances and situations, you always give in. You always maybe fold. You maybe always, react in the same way all of the time. So of course they're gonna keep hitting you with the same BS. Of course they're gonna keep showing up. Of course they're gonna keep doing all of these low vibrational things and sending things your way, because that's what you have always done. You always reacted to things that happen in your life. You always show some type of emotion, shall I say. So this is why these spirits always come for you in those familiar, tender spots, things that you care about, things that you are bothered by. This is why it's so important to be unbothered. Begin to practice being unbothered. And guess what? When you begin to practice being unbothered, you got to know that these spirits is going to think that you're like just joking. It's not going to take you serious. This is why I say you have to be consistent in being the new you. You got to keep up with it. You can't just do something one time and think that the so-called devil is going to leave you alone. No, it's not going to leave you alone. It's going to keep on coming back, because it knows that you don't stand your ground. And this thing comes down to us standing our ground consistently, showing up as the person that you were meant to be, showing up and just reacting in a different way, and beginning to not allow things to dwell in your mind and dwell in your energy field, learning to get over things very quickly, because you understand that you are in a simulation, and the so-called reptilian devil is always putting you in false realities. See, the thing is this, and I talked about this on a lot of my older videos, how you got to know that you are constantly being put in false simulated realities, realities that are scripted just for you, chosen one. So until you learn that and really start to abide by that and really take that serious, then you're going to be getting tricked by these familiar spirits. So you want to begin to just reacting different to things in spite of what it may look like. See, the thing is, if we learn to not to just fold and get distracted just because how so-called reality is looking, if we learn to just still keep going, still knowing, and not just getting 1 minute this, 1 minute that, hot and playing hot and cold, if we just stick to one story in spite of any other story that's happening in our so-called 3D reality, this is when the gap will close. This is when you will get into your magician bag. This is when those familiar spirits, they're going to leave you alone. See, they're only doing what they know that they can do. And the only reason that they can do is because you have somehow allowed. But you can't, beat yourself up over, previous things and previous situations that you have been a part of. No, now you have to learn to shift and grow and take yourself to the next level. Because chosen one, the powers that you have inside of you are completely supernatural. Like if you knew how electrifying that you are, you wouldn't even sweat nothing. You wouldn't sweat nothing. But the job of these familiar spirits is to not allow you to know these things. It needs you to not to tap into that knowingness and that energy of remembering that you the chosen one, that you are a galactic solar being. It needs you down. It needs you uh still trying to figure things out. It needs you to question your ancestors. It needs you to question, just this non-ether power. It needs you to question, is this spirituality stuff really real? It needs you to question, because as long as you're operating in the realm of questioning things, that means that you really don't know. And if you don't know, that means you can't execute. So that's going to put them always in a higher position than you, chosen one. So yeah, just begin to gradually practice and standing your ground in spite of what reality is showing you. And you got to know reality is going to look however it's going to look. But the reality that's happening today is not the end all be all. Reality can change just like that in a great way. But if you're not loyal and you're not staying committed to your ancestors and practicing, how to go about being a different you. And when I say being a different you, I'm talking about being a better version of you, being the ultimate you, not just being, a program being. Because their job is to trick you out of your position, chosen one. And for a long time, that's what it has been doing. It has been tricking us all out of our position. But the way that they've been doing it, it's not neuroscience. It's not rocket science, shall I say. When you really sit back and really analyze how this devil, reptilian beast, all of these inorganic aliens been getting over on you, chosen one, you will really look at that shit and laugh. Like they do it so elementary, like it's so basic, it's so obvious. But the thing is, they have to keep on dumbing you down dumbing you down, so you can't come to your full awareness to be able to see, like, hold on, there's some bullshit. Because you'll be able to see the games from a mile away. But if you're constantly being dumbed down, then it's going to be hard for you to climb out of that fog. You still going to be under the, being tricked by the smoke and mirrors. So, yeah, you just got to know that the only reason that these spirits are constantly showing up in your life, you find yourself feeling the same type of way that you used to feel, or having the same negative thoughts, just experiencing the same negative emotions. That's negative. Those are familiar spirits showing back up. But see, this is how I look at it though. You got to look at these demons just like this. All of it's just energy. So you got to let that energy come up. And when that energy comes up inside of you or outside of you, or you see it for what it is, meaning you see that negative spirit in somebody that you may know, or you feel that negative spirit coming up around you or within you, don't react how you normally would react. Don't let that mind control, put you under hypnosis. Do something different. In spite of how you're feeling or what you may be thinking, laugh, smile. Just do something different. And when you do that, that is you signaling and you letting these spirits know that the games is over. The games is over. Or you changing, you remembering who you are. And through repetition, chosen one, gradually you will see a dramatic shift in your life. And these negative spirits is going to learn to back away from you. Now, I ain't saying that they ain't going to try to show up in other parts of your life, because you got to remember, they hungry. You they whole full-course meal. So they may still show up. But at least those familiar ones, I'm talking about those same topics that pop up in your life every day, pop up in your head every day. You think about the same repetitive stuff. At least those will be out the window. At least those ain't going to be lingering around, just always worrying and being concerned about things that ain't got nothing to do with you. Those spirits, those energies, they're going to be out the window. So just remember that, chosen one. Remember that you're the chosen one. And these so-called spirits, they don't stand a chance against you. As soon as you lock up and you get ready, you load up and you be on your game, they can't, come on now. They can't compete with the elite. Chosen one. We are the elite, the real elite. Everything that they have created, they stole it from us. When it comes to even how to, I ain't even gonna get into what I was about to get into. I'm about to go down a whole nother path, a whole nother lane. But now I just want to keep it simple. These demons, they fight you in familiar places because, they feel like they can. So level up on them. Don't let them do too much anymore. Don't let them do nothing. Stand your ground. Do something different. Smile, laugh, come up with your own formula. And I promise you they're going to back away. But you got to be loyal to your ancestors. You got to be loyal to reinventing and just changing your paradigm. I promise you all things will work out. Till the next time, I'm out. This y'all Rudder Goddess. Peace.